Okay, welcome to the show, everybody. I have probably one of the most exciting guests I can bring on the show right now. Quentin Gause, former linebacker at Rutgers, NFL player, and I am so excited to have him on the show to tell his story about what he's accomplished in his athletic life and what he's doing in his professional life. So Quentin, welcome to the show.
Hey Jeff, thanks so much for having me. I'm very excited to be on here. Well, congratulations on this podcast. I mean, I love what you're doing, and I'm very excited to talk about like the journey from Rutgers all the way through the NFL and everything. So very excited today.
Oh yeah. It's you got one hell of a story, and I can't wait for everybody to hear it. And it's funny, we go back a long ways. I remember the first time I met you at Rutgers in the Hale Center, and I don't remember if I even said this to you, but I said it to somebody who I was walking down the hallway with, and I'm like, "Who's that guy?" And like, "Oh, that's Quentin." I'm like, "He doesn't look that big." And do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm like, because you had the big baggy sweatshirt on, right?
yeah.
And I'm like, he don't
Yeah.
he don't look that big. They're like, no, man, he's big. He's jacked. And then you took your sweatshirt off. I'm like, holy crap, this guy is jacked. You know what I mean? I don't know if you remember that or not, but that was a long time ago. So just do me a favor, tell the audience about yourself, where you're from, what where you played at college, what you're doing now, just a little bio on you.
Yeah, so my name's Quentin Gause. I'm originally from Rochester, New York. Attended Rutgers University, played linebacker there. Played with the Eagles, Patriots, Broncos in the National Football League. Currently, I own two businesses called Iron Visuals, and then the other one is called RiseWell, which is an employee well-being tech company to help get employees healthier. So I just been flowing, rolling. God's blessed me with a lot of opportunities and just being able to help impact lives. So that's my business.
That's great. That's great. And you're down in Atlanta now.
Down in Atlanta. Oh yeah, I'm down in Atlanta, Georgia currently.
All right. And you think that's going to be your permanent home for a while.
Yeah, it's my I would say it's my hub.
Your hub.
I call it the hub. So international travel. I feel like I'm gonna have a couple other spots in different places. So not just staying here, but definitely a good hub to fly
Yeah.
out of and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so cool to hear you're running two businesses now. It's amazing that there's so many guys coming out of the Rutgers world that are doing so well, and it's fun to watch and how that program has sets the young men up for their next level in their life. So
No,
so let
100%.
so let's go backwards in time, right?
Okay.
You're in New York, you're in high school, you're a good athlete, and now it's time to go to college. And talk about your inspiration to play college sports, especially at the Rutgers level. That's the big time college football. I mean, you could have went anywhere doing a lot of stuff. What was the attraction of Rutgers, and what was the inspiration to play football in college?
Yeah, I think that with well playing football in college, I'll start from there. It started in eighth grade. Literally, I was sitting down. I was at a park, in middle school, eighth grade. I'm a man of faith, so early on, I just like got this like divine thing happened to me where it's like God was like, "Hey, you need to start focusing on football and focusing on academics," and it literally hit me in the park, just like this, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I need to like start taking this seriously." So immediately I got on my bike, rode to the library, started researching the top universities and for Division I universities, the best places to get my journalism degree, all that stuff. And then I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, I want to become a D1 football player. How do I do it? He was like, all right, I'm glad
He
you
was
asked.
all jacked up.
He was like, I'm so glad you asked, son. So he did his research. He started looking up camps. He started doing different looking up different events and we started traveling to different places. Like we would fundraise money to go to some of the more serious camps. Sometimes, at that time sometimes we didn't have like the funds to get to the camp and somehow we made it there. We were able to make it back. We fundraised money to go to like US Army, like all those serious camps to get your exposure. We went to them and that's what helped build those opportunities to get me those scholarships. But it started with that park moment, and then me actually saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to actually take it seriously." Because most kids would be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep playing,"
Right.
whereas I was like, "You know what? I felt that. I felt like that." Like it was like if someone gave you a sheet of paper that had the cheats to the
Yeah.
test, and all you had to do was follow the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
So
You
that's
know,
all I did.
so you went to all these camps, you traveled all over the place, your family invested tons of money to build this reputation, right?
Yeah,
I'm just kind of wondering from where your perspective, when it's almost like becoming a college athlete now has become a business,
it
right?
has.
It's the NIL stuff, all this crazy stuff. But if you go back to your high school, I'm wondering, like, how did you at such a young age, when did the switch go off? Like, hey, this is a business now. I got to get myself ready to figure out how to get to the next level. Because, like you said, most guys just like, I don't know, I'll get there. We'll figure it out. Oh, they'll find me. Like, how did
Right.
that switch go off?
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna say it definitely was in that moment when I had when I it was definitely was in that moment at the park where that really impacted me, honestly. But I'm gonna say what really got me was when my dad and my uncle was a big part of it. He was the trainer. So he was my trainer.
Okay. All
My
right.
dad was more of like the manager, the businessman. So basically we treated it like a business from the get-go. It was a business like from the start. So there were no there was no like, oh, this is just a fun game of football. Yeah, it was, but it was like we were very strategic the way we
Yeah.
did everything, reaching out the coaches, the emails, the conversations. My dad had conversations with tons of schools. My freshman year in high school, because that's how serious I was taking it up to that point. My freshman year in high school, we had Oregon, Miami sitting at my the preseason,
Yeah.
scrimmages, sitting
Wow.
in the stands. He's like, he some stuff he couldn't tell me because I would have got too excited or something.
Yeah.
But he was like the manager. My uncle was the manager too, and like they just handled business for me on that end without telling me a lot of stuff because they wanted me to just focus on football.
Yeah.
And and the same thing happened in college too. They did a really good job. So we treated this thing like a business. There were
Yeah.
opportunities for me to get like, sponsorships and stuff. I did a lot of cool stuff. Um, but we started from the get-go, and now what you're seeing now in sports, it kind of like it's just so funny. We're talking about it's like parents are starting to get it now early
Yeah.
now. They started to
Yeah.
get it now because of
Yeah.
NIL, but
Yeah.
we were doing that from the get-go. It's like this is a business, and
Yeah.
you got to take advantage of, yeah, the scholarship, but also take advantage of the opportunity that you're going to get, like what you're learning. So it's just a lot
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So as a high school athlete, let's stay in the high school world for a second.
yeah,
I mean, it's like, what kind of stress and pressure did that put on you? Hey, listen, dad's doing this, uncle's doing that. I got to play the game. I got to get my academics going. Like, what kind of pressure did you feel you were under?
yeah. Pressure wise, I would say it. Honestly, I think I had a good team, man, a good team of people around me that really helped me keep that pressure down, honestly. I think I was gonna go back to my dad, my uncle. I'm gonna go back to even there were some NFL pros that my dad already knew that gave me the knowledge of like how to handle myself before you get to these different levels. And even yeah, so it was kind of some guys that were still playing in the
Yeah.
league. So I got like knowledge that most people will have to
Yeah.
try to get at, once they either make it or you got to try to figure it out on your own. So I had like that foresight and that mentorship early on that kind of helped me keep my cool and just know all I have to do is just perform and play my best and
Wow.
go on the field and have fun and have
So,
fun.
so, so really what happened was your support group is what helped keep the stress off of you. You know what I mean?
Must keep it 100%. Yeah, like honestly, and I'm so glad. That's wisdom. That's true wisdom for my father and
Yeah.
all of them because yeah, like imagine you don't want your kids head to get blown up
Yeah.
with, oh, you got all these things. Like they knew what to say to me, what not to say.
Yeah.
And he did that as a father, like to make sure, like, because he knows, like, all I like to do is just focus on like being the best
That's
and
awesome. That's
training
awesome.
to be the best. So he's like, I don't want to think about all the other stuff. I'll talk to him about that
Yeah.
later.
You can just stay focused,
Exactly.
that's awesome. So now let's talk about high school transition into college, right?
Yeah.
In high school, you're the man. Like
Hmm.
you're the man. Like you're the best guy out there. You're doing all kinds of great things. Now, Rutgers, here I come, freshman year. Talk about that transition because a lot of high school kids now are thinking, man, what's it like to get to that next level? What is the transition? What's reality? Talk about that
Yeah.
for a minute.
What's reality? I mean, honestly, you'll be the best. I mean, in high school, you're the best person in your city, state. You're gonna get respected by everybody in your town. You're the man. But once you get to college, you're not the man anymore. You got to earn your spot. You got to like gain that respect. I knew that early on. I knew, like, again, prepped for this thing since eighth grade. Like literally, I had a solid team, and our team of people helped other athletes in my town go to college too. So this wasn't just me. This was like a whole like 65 people that we interned into this group, and we created
Wow,
like this like community of
that
people
is so cool.
to help everybody get there. We're just not about one person. We're about like most. So being around that, training, training hard, just like you train in college. When I got to college, I was like, it wasn't easy, but it prepped me. It
It was normal for you.
was normal. So you
Yeah,
got like Coach Cole, who used to be there, making you run stairs and carrying a 100-pound sandbag on your back at 5 a.m. in the morning on the top of the bleachers. I mean, it's just like it's like military. Like we
yeah,
were already training like that. So mentally I was like, oh, okay, this is just it began. Now it's time to go. This is the next level. And then I just kept training harder, and being around like Deron Harmon, Logan Ryan, um,
big
being
names.
being around leaders, Kasim Green, Steve Baharnis, like being around those guys and watching this like championship level play. And that made me get better. Just asking those questions, seeing what they were doing, helped me honestly get to the league because I got a chance to watch that work ethic.
Right.
So actually saw Duran this past weekend at the Patriots Hall of Fame for Tom Brady, and yeah, I was just telling him, like, bro, thanks. Like, and he's still playing today. I was like, but thanks, bro. Like, just for what you've shown. You don't even know what you've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
The impact that they made on you, right?
exactly.
I tell you, that speech of Brady, that was incredible, huh?
Yeah, that was powerful. I mean, it's true. Like, you don't have to be special. All you have to be is just be consistent and dependable. I mean, that's life right there. Like, if you are you to show up at the time you say you're gonna show up at, or
Yeah.
if you got to cancel something, cancel it, but be dependable. Like, let people know. Like, don't, oh, it's something that's super important, and then
Yeah.
oh, I can't make it, and it's like super important. You need to be, so it's
Yeah.
just like I love what he was talking about. It applies to life.
Yeah. Be dependable, be consistent, be reliable, right?
Yeah.
Which is big. So now you're in college. When did you realize, was it right away? Did it take a little while that, hey man, I can play here. I got the ability.
Mm.
I got this. I can play here.
Honestly, it truly was me. I went through a season, man. Honestly, Jeff, I went through a season of like my first season. Yeah, I worked hard when I got there and everything, but understanding the playbook, like I'm gonna keep it real. Like in high school, yeah, we had a solid playbook, but it wasn't like a Greg Schiano playbook. Even I know like teams like Alabama, other schools, they do simple playbooks too. But when you play for Greg Schiano, it's like an NFL defense. And I'm
Yeah.
so glad I learned. It took me like, like 2 years to really, well, 2.5 years to really learn it because of the complexity of it. Now, if I would have learned that in like now, I would love to teach kids in high school like the foundation and philosophy of like football first, and then implements a lot of those techniques and stuff later because it will help you understand what the terminology and how to speak the lingo. So it's like I had to learn to speak the language first. My coach didn't do that in high school. I was just really, really good. I was just a really good player at running back and linebacker. So it was like, okay, I had to understand the terminology. So once I did, man, I was able to really perform at a high level and play fast instead of thinking about, because like if you're thinking about, okay, you've seen the playbook, if you see the formation, but the formation is going to change. It's going to change at some point. So you gotta in your head know what it's gonna look like and seeing it on the field. And then it's like playing, like, yeah, you're playing chess or you're playing like playing a game like you can see everything in front of you, but you got to see it visually
Yeah.
moving. So once I got that down, then I was able to play fast, and then I was able to be who I was on the field that you saw later in my career.
Yeah.
Whereas in the beginning, I did mainly special teams to really get my feet wet, making plays, and they saw that they're like, "Oh man, this kid's like he could play, but he got to get the playbook." So that's what kind of happened, and you get your shots at the spring game and to really get your shot playing and stuff. So I think 2013 is when I really like got my full shot to start. You have a great mentor, Jamal Morrell, who was playing at the same time too, my position, like in his position, and we both like played back and forth. But I got a chance to start against Arkansas, and that's what really like got my feet wet, got everything flowing, the juices flowing. And 20, I think it was like 20 tackles that game. And that's when I knew I was like, all right, like I knew I could play, but I was like, all right, I got a chance to play against a SEC team
Arkansas. It's
at
big.
home, and yeah, got a chance to do that. So it was cool to see that happen. And I'm like, all right, I could play this game at a high level. I know I'm NFL caliber. I just got to keep being playing hard, studying hard, and just be the best I can
Yep.
be in my craft.
So I'm gonna have another question on that study hard.
Mm,
So it's not just study your playbook, which is a college D1 playbook is, especially Greg Schiano's, is probably complicated as heck, right?
yeah.
But then you have to have your academics. You got to go to class. You got to study your books. Like, how the heck did you manage the pressure of college playbook, your academic, courses, the pressure of playing the game? How the heck did you manage all that?
Yeah. So what I did, I honestly, it took, again, started from when a younger age. We were already doing this stuff, type of stuff already in high school. So it was an after school program, that nonprofit that my uncle ran, and we still run it today. And we were already in the kind of that mode. I was already in kind of that mode to do it. So that was almost the easier part. But when you go to college, it is a little bit more strenuous. So um, I just kind of use those same principles from what I learned in high school and applied it to what I did in college. So I already kind of knew coming in that this was gonna happen. I was gonna I just knew I had to study, keep studying harder and making sure I just balance my time. I didn't really go out like that. I didn't really enjoy my time going out, sitting around at a party and stuff like that. So I actually my freshman year, I mean, I think it was my freshman or sophomore year. Yeah, I think it was like going into my sophomore year. I kind of learned a little bit. I was like, you know what, instead of like I want to have fun and stuff, but I'm gonna turn fun into like profit. So ended up
That's good.
DJing and actually DJing in college and was actually one of the like I DJ'd at random parties sometimes,
Yeah.
like if I wasn't, playing, I wasn't playing yet. Um but I ended up actually doing a deal with Residence Life, and actually closing a deal with them. So I was getting paid like on retainer.
That's
So
pretty
I was
cool.
so I was like turning my fun. That was my fun. My fun was like, yeah, I'm DJing,
Yeah.
but I'm collecting a check
Yeah.
at the
I
same
mean, you're at
time.
the party anyway. You might as well make some money doing it.
Exactly.
Right.
Instead of,
Right.
yeah.
So how many years were you at Rutgers?
I guess it was like, let's see, 11, 12, technically five. It was like five, going basically 5 years,
Okay.
almost five, basically 5 years.
So this is a question I ask everybody, and this is tough to pinpoint, but if you can pinpoint your most memorable moment at Rutgers, what would it be?
Yeah, that's a
It's hard, right?
dang. Um,
And it doesn't have to be on the field. Some guys think, well, it's a game. It could be a game moment. It could be off the field, on whatever. What's your
right.
most memorable? Like, man, that was wow.
Most memorable. I'm gonna say was, honestly, I mean, yeah, there's a couple games, but I'm gonna definitely say, I'm gonna say the Michigan game. After that game was pretty memorable. Everyone rushing the field, and then I'm also gonna say like before I became a captain on the team, because I wasn't, like coaches choose captains. They choose the captains. Like, hey, this person's cap. I got voted a captain because they actually like keep it extra. Like, like, all right, this year we're gonna like vote. And the crazy thing is, like, I kind of prepared myself for it because I ended up doing like a lot of events that summer for the guys. So we went. I was like, hey, everyone, I'm scheduling paintballing. We're gonna go
Yeah,
paintball together. Everybody came. Like a little get together party we did like at the sales center, and then I did like a party bus to New York City,
really.
at a club, and then like having a good time. Collected all the money for the party bus, did
Yeah,
everything, like, scheduled it. Um, had like 79, I think it was like 79 people on the bus.
that must
Going
have been
there.
fun.
It was a great time, and I think I gained the respect of guys, and I think that's memorable for me. Is that summer was memorable, honestly, because it let me know that like a lot of guys they had respect for me, and they really wanted me to help be a leader on the team. And all I did was just trying to lead by example. But I was trying to have fun and make sure that just treating them right. So that was those were memorable moments. Honestly, that summer
That's
of
awesome.
2015. Yeah,
Okay. So you were a leader before you were asked to be a leader,
exactly.
and I tell a lot of guys about who's the guys who want to be captains. Like, you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. And many times, a lot of captains aren't leaders.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just because they're good players doesn't mean they're good leaders. You know what I mean? So,
That's very
so
true.
you were a born leader. You did all the leadership stuff before they even asked you to become one.
Yeah, I
You
took the
know?
time, took the time to really like hone in on it, and again, like I'm just gonna, again, man of faith here, but I'm just telling you the truth. Like, um, when I was in my workouts, God would always talk to me and just be like, "You need to be in front of the line. You need to
Yeah,
do this. Like, why aren't you sitting behind? Why aren't like don't make yourself small in the sense of um feeling like you're not good enough to help these young men get push them because some guys want to be pushed or some guys just step up because they want to but they don't really lead the right way. So I stepped up, led the best I could. And some people liked it, some people didn't. I did the best I could, and that's I know that's all that anyone can ask for, like just doing the
yeah.
best you can. And leadership is not easy,
No.
right?
So can you spend some more time on it? You said don't make yourself small.
Yeah.
I wonder. I get what you mean, but I'm wondering those that are listening might be saying, what does he actually mean by that? Like, give a little more detail around what you mean by that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, so don't make yourself small. So like FOMO. My bad, not FOMO. I get the correct word for it. It's imposter syndrome. Don't make yourself like you deserve to be in the room. You deserve to be in the front. You deserve to like don't allow your own mental state to make yourself like small. Like you don't like you're non-deserving. No, you're deserving. You worked hard for it. So put yourself in a position and don't allow your mental to push you back. There's a yeah. So like be bold. Don't be afraid to be bold. Most people aren't going to be bold.
Yeah.
Most people are uncomfortable in situations. So you just got to sometimes be bold and step up, and
Yeah.
that's what true leadership honestly is like. It's not planned. It's sometimes it is, but it's not planned. Sometimes you have to act right away, and that's what it's about. It's like, can you act
Mm.
immediately on something and not be shaken? And that's true leadership in that sense.
It's hard to step up, isn't it? Sometimes, like you sometimes you second guess yourself. Should I do this? Maybe I shouldn't do this. What are they going to say? What I might not, right? What if I do it wrong? But
Exactly.
when you're ready, you're ready.
You're ready. You're ready.
And that's it. So you talked about the summer, right? So and doing the DJing, having the parties and that kind of stuff. Um, talk about you know teamwork. Talk about your buddies on the team. Talk about the camaraderie. Talk about how all that work you did in the summer with the guys, how that built your interpersonal relationships with the team and all the guys that are around you. Oh, we can't hear you.
So how did the summertime training and all that stuff correlate with my overall like relationships I built with the guys over time?
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, that was the most critical time during the year. Honestly, I think a lot of people take it for granted about that time because that's when you build that closeness. That's when you build like that true um team camaraderie, like when you're with your brother sweating in the summertime, running again, Coach Cole, running around the stadium when your legs hurt, when you're doing speed work, you're doing 110s and you're just burnt out, and that's your brother with you. Then yeah, then you go and then we had those events, went to, did the party bus stuff, did the paintballing, did like a, time to meet up and have food, and just stuff like that is what it's about. That's how you build team karate. So excuse me. So when you're with someone that is in the trenches with you, and it's third, is a fourth and one, and you have to stop them on the goal line, like you could trust your brother. He turns
Yeah.
around and he's like, "I got you." It's like,
Yeah.
don't let him in.
Yeah.
I got you, because this is we've built that camaraderie. I know he's gonna push his best.
Yep.
You know?
And how cool is that when he does and you do together and you accomplish what you want to accomplish and you don't let the guy in. It's like euphoria, right?
Exactly. And that's the piece right there that it's hard to build that. I mean, even in like regular businesses too. I mean, like because football is just sports in general so different. And I think
Yeah.
that's why everyone should play a sport, because of that type of team bonding community that's going to help you become the best person you could possibly be even later in life.
But that's what it is. It's the bond. It creates that bond, right? It creates that bond that it just never goes away, you know?
It never does.
No.
And even if like, yeah, you just remember. I mean, even hanging out with some of the guys recently, I saw Brandon Coleman and a couple of the other guys Thursday night for like an NFL meetup, and yeah, like you just have memories pop up. Like when
Yeah.
you see guys like, man, I was in the trenches with him
Yeah.
during that play, or you remember it. Yeah, it may be good moments, bad moments, but whatever. But it's like still that's your brother.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. So I know everyone's waiting for me to ask this, right? It's okay, high school, college, it's one thing. Now college to NFL.
ooh,
Talk about that transition. Is it almost the same thing, high school to college? Holy crap, it's another level. It's so much faster, stronger, harder. Talk about that. The stress and the pressure of that.
yeah. So when it comes down to it, the transition from college to NFL, honestly, it's not the speed. It's really, well, honestly, it can be speed, but it's more or less there's less mistakes made. So if you make a mistake in college, yeah, you could probably like come back in the game pretty quickly. But NFL is really hard. Um, like you got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. You got to make sure you're limiting your mistakes. And you're not like constantly being consistent in mistakes, because it's gonna show, and you'll probably have a really bad record. But biggest thing that I've learned is to constantly keep myself in the playbook, constantly watch film. As soon as I went to the Eagles, I sat down with Brian Dawkins and asked him right away. I was like, "Hey man, I've been watching your film since I was like a young pup. I just want to let you know, like, what did you do to get?" Like, I just went straight to the source.
Yeah.
I was
I mean,
like,
he's
"What
he's one of the greatest ever,
Yeah,
right?
he was there at the Eagles facility. I was like, to show me. Say, show me. So we prayed, we dove into. I still have his number to this day. I mean, I probably wouldn't have had it if I didn't approach him and talk to him.
Yeah.
Right, right. So he reached out to me when I left the Eagles, and I think went to the Broncos, and he was like, "Hey man, congratulations! Like I'm making it, and getting active on the roster, and da, da,
Yeah.
da." So just like people having your back, what I want to see you succeed. But he told me, I'll give you this one quote. He said, when you're playing the game, and limit your mistakes. You need to make sure you ride the wave. The wave is a wave of consistency. So if you're consistent, great, you're riding the wave. Like it's gonna change up on you, but keep staying on the board. But if you miss a tackle, get back on the board. If you miss another tackle, you can't miss more than two tackles. Otherwise, you lose your mojo.
Mm.
That's what he said. So that stuck in my head. So like if I miss two, I had to get myself back in the mojo again. I had to like shake it off, So just good advice from a great like that.
Now, how did you shake that off? How did you get your mojo back? Like that's hard to do, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing in the game at a high level like that, you just need to get that one play. Like even if it's just setting the edge and making sure that someone makes a tackle, like, and you just got to get consistent doing your job. And if you do your job, then great. But if you're like doing something completely 360,
Yeah.
100% different, then that's not going to get you the result you want.
No.
So it's just about like get to the next play, do it better. Just do it better. Like don't overthink. Don't don't over pursue. Do something wrong. Like just do your job. and it's gonna happen the way it's supposed to.
Bill Belichick, just do your job. I'm sure you heard that when you were up there with those guys a million times, right? Just do your job.
Yeah, it was on the door and everything.
You know. So talk about the stresses of the NFL. It's just making the team is hard. I know you had a great time at the Broncos, and I think I was watching one of the game when you were on the Eagles. Didn't you intercept the pass and take it back for a touchdown or something?
Almost took it back for a
Yeah.
touchdown.
Who did you intercept that day? Who was
Oh,
that?
Griffin. I just remember his last name was Griffin.
RG3?
No, Griffin. Quarterback played. He played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was trying to remember. I don't remember his first name. I just remember his last name is Griffin. He's been in the NFL for a long time though.
Okay,
Still
okay.
playing. He's been like a solid backup quarterback, and he
I
started
would
sometimes too. Actually,
I wouldn't mind being an NFL backup, making all that money, backing up.
bet right,
But
right.
it's crazy. But talk about the stresses of making a team, the euphoria of making it, and then the challenges of not, and how hard it is just to, like you said, consistency before, right? Is you got to be consistent just to stay on the team, and then going from the NFL to the CFL to the XFL, like the challenges you face, the stresses you face along that way, and talk about that because there's a lot of guys out there wondering, well, how hard is it to make these leagues?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, best way to answer that. So I'll say the best way to answer that is you have to keep this a solid. You gotta have a solid mindset like when doing this, like because I mean, I was talking to Cisco the other day because we do a lot of their employee well-being in Atlanta and virtually around the world. And one big thing I told them because I had one of my former friends, well, not teammate, but former friends. He played with the Redskins. I have him be one of the speakers to talk, and he talked about his journey, how he got cut and stuff. And then I talked at the end. I was like, imagine you getting cut from your job at Cisco and bouncing from every another tech company weekly, and then you got to fly to a new city to move weekly,
That's got to
or
be crazy.
staying somewhere for like 2 months and then moving, and then you got to
Ugh.
take your backpack with you. So that was the kind of the explanation like I would give is like you have to have like a thick mind to block out the negativity, the thoughts in your mind that feeling like you're not good enough, and feeling like, man, am I sometimes it's just timing. It's just timing on things. Like you have to just be patient and understand that it's gonna be your time at some point, but just keep believing and it's gonna happen. But don't stop. And that's one of the biggest things. I mean, most people stop because it's too hard or it doesn't feel I don't know, it just doesn't feel right or I don't know. Just you just have to keep the faith. You just have to keep going, and like God's gonna open up a door, but you have to go through some suffering. You have to go through some cuts. You might have to turn your iPad in. That's the worst day when you have to,
Ugh.
hey, hey, ring, 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 bring your iPad.
Oh my God. That's like the sign, right? You're done.
Yeah, that's a sign. So, or yeah, um, so I would just say like you got to just keep a thing, have a solid foundation, believe, and keep going. There's a kid now who I played in the what league was it? The American. I forgot it. You got you. It was like American Conference, American Football League or whatever,
Yep.
and then XFL came out after it. So there was like another league that's on the
Yep.
side. So I tried out, and so this guy I played with was a cornerback. He's been doing the spring league. He's been doing all these different.
It's like year round he's playing.
He's playing year round. He's just trying to figure it out. So literally this year, this was 2018 till now. He's finally made it to the NFL. He's playing for
Wow.
the. He got picked up by the Atlanta Falcons. So it lets you know like you got to keep on, you got to keep on pushing
Yeah.
and keep on pushing yourself to make like to get through the tough moments.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So
And it's not like you're playing baseball where
yeah,
you can play baseball year round. Playing football like your body and your brain and your mind, you need that break. I
right,
can't imagine how hard it is for these guys to play from league to league to league year round for multiple years with the hope and the dream of making it.
exactly.
That's crazy.
So there's I mean, but and that's rare. I mean, that's really rare for that to happen. But that's just his faith. Like
Yeah.
they continue to keep going, and he's a cornerback too, so they always need cornerbacks.
Right.
But just to see that happen, I was so proud of him. I was like, man, you made it, bro,
That's
and you put
that's
the work in to
that
make.
is
You didn't stop.
that is so cool. Okay, now let's do the next transition, right? You go high school to college, college to the pro league. Now it's okay, Quentin, it's time to take the helmet off.
Oh
Talk
man.
about talk about that last time you took that helmet off, or maybe you didn't even know it was the last time, but you took it off and it's like, what were the emotions going on in your head? How did you handle that transition?
Yeah. That took me a little bit of time to like kind of take in. I mean, even when I took the helmet off and stopped and finished playing, honestly, I didn't watch football for a while.
Ooh,
I just focused on my business. People were like, "Hey, Quinn, you didn't hear about that game or da da da," and I'm like, I'm not really into it right now. I don't know. I'm just not into it the way I used to be. I would train hard. I would like continue to keep training just to stay ready. But it's just something about it. I was just wasn't into it, and that's what really got me to. But I got to a place where maybe had like a little moments where I was down. Uh, I had some depression. I don't even like to say that, but like I mean that's what it was. I was at a point where I was like kind of down on myself, and I had to fight through that through some therapy and also just talking to God about it, just like and helping me through those moments, and that's what really gave me the foundation to be able to start these businesses and be able to um, really keep myself going, honestly.
right.
And I think the businesses really helped me keep that competitive nature, honestly. So created my company called Iron Visuals, which is like a video marketing agency that helped me keep my competitive juices going. Um, Getting in the room to close a deal or hopping into sales and going on sales and like talking with different customers to really help them succeed in what they need for their company, but closing that deal or like taking out like example, like took someone uh I had a client the other day. I just think of different ways. Like, hey, the NFLPA has an event. I'm about to go take them to that event because they probably don't get a chance to hang out with like a lot of NFL guys. So why not? So I took time to it's that competitiveness, like get a chance to build relationships first off. It's not about transactions, so transactional stuff, but really being able to build solid relationships that are going to help change lives. And that's what I truly believe in. And that truly made me um get to where I'm at today and to help me get to a place now where like football is not all the end all be all. So
Yeah. It's hard that your identity as an athlete, when that's over,
right.
to like you said, you had a little moment there where you just stopped watching the game. You just stop watching the game and you kept moving though. And then you took your competitiveness, your drive from the game into your business world, and now you're blowing up all over the place. I see all this stuff you're doing. You're everywhere, you know,
Yeah,
which is really cool.
yeah, it's definitely it's interesting. And you know what? That's the thing that I'm trying to tell guys is that they have to once you get out the game, and even the guys that played a long time still have this problem. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like some guys they play, yeah, they got the pension, yeah, they got money, but like the purpose though. Is the
Mm,
purpose there's something about the purpose aspect where it leaves people or there's an ego aspect that comes with them that have to release like it's because think about it, we're playing a game that's like it's like gladiators, man. I mean we're
yeah,
playing a game that you need to have ego to play. You have to be in a space where if you don't have that mentality where you're like a dog, you're someone that's gonna I know you're. I guess not. Some people are narcissistic too. Like you have to have to play the football game,
yeah,
football. Otherwise, you'll get stomped on.
yeah,
But when you're out of it, now you have to learn how to release some of that. So you can be able to do business correctly, or release some of it so you can be able to be the man you're supposed to be, or see the purpose that God has for you. And it takes some time for some people to like get to do that. So
yeah,
I've been actually I'm gonna do something. We're going to have an event at the Super Bowl that's gonna help really promote that aspect of like finding purpose, or if you're running a business, how to like show them the how to execute in business correctly. So that's the piece that I feel like when you're out of the NFL, you got to think about it. People in college that you were in college that didn't play football, that were just like watch your games or friends, they got a jump start on you.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
right into their career, jumpstart. They already kind of know what they're doing, or if they don't, they're already making changes. NFL, you've been playing football since 8 years old, all the way up to the NFL. So now it's like, oh my gosh, like I got to create a norm for myself. First off, I got to create a routine.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just take that football routine and put it in business or put it into your job, and then that's gonna help you succeed at a high level.
Yeah.
And most people don't. I think it takes some guys more to know that. Like I talked to Jason McCourty and the twins on what was it, on Wednesday? Wednesday, yeah, on Wednesday at the field. And yeah, they were just telling me like some of the stuff they're doing. Like they're locked in just on like they're in on boards,
Yeah.
they're on TV. So they're just that's their passion. So that's good.
Yeah.
Like they found what gives them drive and yeah,
Yeah.
what's gonna pay them and then taking care of their family.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but same
that's crazy. You know, it's you're taking that why, that purpose that I would call it the burn. What's the burn? You know, what's going to drive you to push yourself to do the things that you used to do, but in a whole nother world?
exactly. And you gotta if once you find that, and it takes some people time,
Yeah.
then excuse me, you'll get to the next level. Like there's guys like, hey, I'm getting my pilot's license.
Wow.
Amazing. Amazing. Like I'm actually gonna do that in a couple of months myself too. Like to go ahead and get it. Cause I'm like,
Be careful. Be
why
careful.
not? Most definitely. But it's something but I love flying like drones. I've always been a
Oh,
big
that's
drone
neat.
pilot. So I'm like, you know what? I got my drones pilot license. I should have got my private pilot license at the same time. So it's just little things like that. Like do what you love, do what
Yeah.
is gonna bring you joy. Um, and don't be someone that's stagnant with your life. Even people that aren't athletes, like don't sit and be stagnant. Like we only have so many years on this earth. So it's like, why aren't you gonna do what the things that you want to do? Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Why
Why
not
not
live?
me? Yeah. Have the why not me attitude.
Why not?
Right. Well, Quentin, listen, man, this has been great. I asked you a ton of questions. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you yet that you think that we should talk about before we end the show?
Um, I think you hit the critical question at the end there too, just on like the transition from sports. Um, I'll just say like on the mental side, how to stabilize and keep. I'll kind of go into that, like how to stabilize yourself mentally to be able to handle um through the ups and downs when things go to crap. You know, when things like aren't the best, when you feel like you're down, like you don't know if things are you're gonna make it. Like I just want to tell guys like or anyone out there that you have to keep a solid foundation of people around you, mentors,
Mm,
folks that can help you along your journey. As men, if you're having successful business, there's always gonna be a time where like someone's gonna try to come and disrupt things. Like always keep solid accountability around you. Keep solid coach. Always have a coach. I would just say that. Have a coach around you,
mm,
someone that you can call up, maybe like call up at midnight. Sometimes if you haven't like have someone that you can like that could be your road dog or that person that can be there for you in need. I have a spiritual mentor that like they've shown me by through their living their life that you can make it through anything. Dude, you can make it through anything. And even though they've cried during the time, but they still mentored me during
yeah.
those moments. And even seeing that has changed my life. Seeing that, hearing it, helping them pray through stuff like and then things happen in my business to fight through things. So it's just like just have a solid group of people that are going to help keep you accountable, that's going to help you in your life. And I think that's a major point right there. Don't try to do it by yourself. You can you move faster when you go together, but I just think that even when you're successful in your business, successful in what you're doing, it's just good to have that second air that's going to help you progress further where you
Man,
never thought you could go.
that is so. And you know where you got that from?
Oh, where?
Your dad.
Oh, yes, that's true.
That's the you're your dad. You've become your dad. That we all hopefully that's a good thing. I hope
Yeah,
you're glad I said
no,
that.
no. That's
But
powerful.
but
That's
but
powerful.
your dad did this to you as a young little boy,
He
and
did.
you took his leadership, his compassion, his purpose, right? And you took it into your life, and now you're doing almost pretty much the same thing your dad did to you, but now your ripple effect Quentin, is just like expanding and it's touching so many people. It's incredible, you know. So, hey, listen, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I love having you, and I want to have you back another time. You
Let's do
know,
it again.
yeah,
I would love to do it again,
I want
honestly.
people to know what you're doing, see what you're doing, you know, and listen, real quick, if for the companies out there, businesses out there, how can they get a hold of you? How can they reach out to you? How can they talk to you to maybe they can use you for all the things that you're doing?
Yeah, I would just say honestly, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, Quentin Gause, QuentinGause on LinkedIn. Our company, one main one I'm focused on that we're building right now, that we're working with Cisco, Google, all these companies, is called Risewell. So RIZEWELL.io. And you can go to our website and look at what we do. Go ahead and just get started, submit a form, and we'll go ahead and get in contact with you. But biggest thing is, right now I'm focused on employee well-being, AI plus VR plus wellness equals engaged employees and more sales. So I'm really locked in on helping companies improve their retention, attraction, with their employees, also benefits, and also increasing revenue through well-being programs and not just saving. So that's what I'm focused on, and would love to help anyone's company out there to help them do that at a new level. Our team can really help crush it in that level. And we do it in a very creative, strategic way that's gonna that helps change just the norm of what has been done in the past. So we'd love to have a combo with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, listen, I hope everybody reaches out to you because that's your burn, that's your purpose, that's your why. You know,
Yes.
that is so cool. Well, listen, man, thanks again for being on the show, and I'm looking forward to talking with you again soon.
Thanks, Jeff.